Mr. Rijiju, as always, welcome to NDTV and grateful that you have chosen to speak on the budget day to NDTV. Warm welcome from the side of all the viewers.
Thank you.
Your opening remarks, Mr. Rijiju, on the budget.
Well, it's difficult to begin with, but I can just say that it has rejuvenated the entire people of the country, because it is a fulfilling budget for the aspiration of the people, whether it's middle class or the business community or the farmers or people living in the border areas, northeast, coastal. It's everyone's budget. So people are wholeheartedly welcoming this budget.
So mostly the headline of the budget, Mr. Rijiju, so far has been that what many would describe as massive income tax relief, particularly to the bottom of the pyramid, from 7 lakh to 12 lakh has been announced by your government. How do you see that? Do you think that is good enough to rejuvenate demand, create more taxpayers in the sense that people would honestly file their taxes because the threshold has been increased? That's the world's experience. Or do you think that this will also not only help in further bringing taxpayers into the stream, but also in revenue collections? What do you think about that?
See, while the tax relief for the middle class is a massive, it's beyond anybody's imagination that such a jump in the tax relief can be given by government in a single stroke of one budget. This is, of course, one of the highlights. But if you go beyond, deeper into the budget, then you could see that this budget is the strongest ever foundation laid for Viksit Bharat by 2047. For example, the job creation, employment is an issue for every developing country. So the job sector, if you see, almost 50% is the agriculture sector, the farm sector. So the kind of support being provided to the farm sector, the credit card, the kind of support for every sector within the farming community is, I think, telling itself that the focus is the rural and agriculture sector. Now from there, if you see the capital expenditure, now the jump has been unprecedented. However, this time the budget is so realistic that no matter whatever is the size of the budget, if you can spend, then you are going to get more. So spending of the budgetary allocation has been the focus of the Prime Minister. In fact, in the cabinet meeting also, the Prime Minister puts lots of stresses on the expenditure of the budgetary allocation. Otherwise, in the past we have seen that allocations are made, announcements are being made in every budget, but spending has been very poor. But Prime Minister Modi's track record is very clear that whatever you allocate, you spend it. And then you see the futuristic budget, where it is clearly outlined how we are transition into green technology, green economy, and the nuclear power capacity which has to be increased if we have to have a self-sufficiency in the requirement of the power generation. And then how this economy will be, totally focused on the export. So for export driving thing, whatever the provisions made in the budget, I think it is very encouraging. Now, while we are going to increase our export, the ease in doing business thing, which Finance Minister had repeatedly and quite eloquently remarked, that the Jan Biswas Bill 2 will be brought in, whereby all those redundant laws will be removed. All unnecessary legal provisions which are, leading to, putting unnecessary bottlenecks or obstacles on the people, especially in doing business, will all be removed. Decriminalization of many provisions which creates problems in doing the business. So these are all leading to the ease of doing business. So the whole effort to change the whole ecosystem are very appropriately explained in the budget. Beyond that, if you see different sectors, especially Eastern India. Now, East India has been lacking behind in terms of fueling the economic growth. So whether it's Odisha or Bihar, West Bengal, the whole northeastern region, the focus is very much there. And also the coastal region, for the fishing community, or for all those who are involved in traditional sectors like toy making, these are, I think, not only going to create lots of jobs, but these are going to fuel the growth of our economy. So while the whole world is facing difficulties in terms of economic growth, India is smoothly sailing. That is why India has been described as one of the bright spots in the world economy. So to sum up, the budget of 2025-26 is not only fulfilling the aspirations of the middle class, the poor farming community, but it is a way of opening up for the business community to make India a thriving and fast developing industrial economy. So that is, I think, the theme of the entire budget of this year.
Also, Prime Minister in his comments said that this budget is for the new age economy. So you have taken some provisions for the gig workers, and you have also set up, your government has also set up, that is a special fund for startups and AI. But allocations still remain a concern. You said that your focus has been spending the allocated fund, and it is quite right that in the past there has been this tendency that while the funds were allocated, but the threshold of expenditure never probably crossed 50 to 60%. But do you think that the focus that the AI and the tech expenditure in terms of startups, etc., need, do you think that has been duly addressed in this budget?
Yeah, definitely, because AI has been a focus area where Prime Minister has mentioned in many of the occasions. And if you see right from 2014-15, Prime Minister has already said that the future of the world will be driven by artificial intelligence and technology. And if you remember Prime Minister's special invitation to some of the people, key people from different sectors, to address the people in the government. So in 2016, Jensen Huang, the CEO of the NVIDIA, was invited, and he's a known face for this AI sector. And since then, government has been giving lots of focus from startups to creating the whole ecosystem. Now, last week only, government has already announced how India is taking forward the whole AI sector and technology sector, and Prime Minister himself is driving the sector. And besides United States and China, now globally it is acknowledged that India is also coming up as the third major force in AI sector and the whole of technology sector. Some people may say that no, India is unable to catch up with China, United States. Yes, in terms of achievement so far, that may be true. But the kind of ecosystem which we have created, it's not going to take a long time for India to match them or to be at that league. So I think it's heartening to see that the numbers of startups which we have seen over the years in India is a phenomenon, and our youths are getting the right opportunities. Now, this is the real story of India, that new age India which Prime Minister is talking about, is this AI and the technology sector only.
And also, Mr. Rijiju, since you come from that region, I must ask you, and that remains a constant challenge as well, because we have a rather mighty and powerful neighbor on that side. do you think the allocation done for the northeastern region, Assam has seen a large ticket and quite a large ticket assignment announcement, since you have said the entire eastern region has been your focus. Do you think the allocation done for the northeastern region is sufficient and can help aid the growth in that region?
Not only sufficient, but I think the budgetary support, it's not only the budget which makes announcement. There are so many other projects which are ongoing and continuous process. In fact, northeastern region, the whole region is unable to spend the total amount allocated over the past 10 years. For example, you'll understand by this example. The frontier highway, which is being supported and which is to be executed in Arunachal Pradesh, is going to cost close to 42,000 crore. Now you tell me, any single road project in India which is above, say, 10,000 crore, you can't immediately bring out the name of the particular project. Even Mumbai-Pune project is...
and Delhi-Mumbai corridor is somewhere around 16,000 crore.
Just imagine,
segment.
Close to 42,000 crore for Arunachal Pradesh, whose the total state population is close to 1.5 million only. It's going to stretch over a distance of 1,400 kilometers, which is unthinkable. Many of my Arunachal people are unable to comprehend the amount because they are used to get some 100 crore and described as a huge project. You know, where 50, 100 crore and where 42,000 crore. Similarly, every state in northeastern region is getting sufficient budgetary support for all necessary hard infrastructure, whether it's for roads, railways, for airports or educational institutions, health centers, so many things. So I think the northeastern region is going to unleash its potential within a very short time. Once all these mega infrastructure projects gets completion and joins all those dots, you know, everything is interconnected. Whether you talk about tourism, you talk about the manufacturing sector, everything's linked with transportation, infrastructure and all. So once all these ongoing projects are completed, then the whole region will come to its term in terms of potential. And then, of course, the northeastern region now feels that it's now, getting its due. The long negligence, the northeastern region was living under the shadow of ignorance and negligence for past more than 6 decades. And now it has become a priority. For example, some of the border areas which are declared as the first villages by the Prime Minister, and they are getting special treatment under Vibrant Villages programs. Now, Vibrant Villages are being treated as special because those villages cannot be covered under any of the other government schemes, because if there are 10 households in a village, that doesn't get any kind of attention under any village. Because it may be only 5 people living there, 20 people living there. So the Vibrant Villages program is getting core to the basic small need of those border people. Likewise, there are so many other issues in the northeastern region which are well taken care of. That is, the Prime Minister has given priority to the border areas, northeastern region. Now, whole of northeast and the whole of East India is now in the verge of coming out of the shadow of its long negligence. That is why I said, once the whole of East India emerges, then South India is doing well, western part of India is doing very well, North India, because of Delhi, capital region, is already the focus area. Now the whole country will grow. And the 100 aspirational districts which Prime Minister mentioned and Finance Minister also mentioned, how government is going to give focus on the 100 districts, especially that budgetary support provided to these 100 aspirational districts and now expanded to 500 aspirational blocks. So these are the things which will really, shake up the whole thing, and the country will grow together. The whole India has to be vibrant. It's not necessary that, one region can pull the other region. The whole region can grow together.
Mr. Rijiju, let me now also, whenever there is budget, there has to be politics. You're also the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, the whole house you have to run. Let me also now bring you to the politics of the budget. So your rivals say, Congress party says that, it's fine that you've given a tax relief up to 12 lakh people, but people are not earning 12 lakh rupees. To whom are you giving the relief?
Actually, criticism is okay in terms of opening up to the debates and discussion through pros and cons. So opposition party will criticize the budget, that's okay. But criticism has to be based on facts. There has to be some substantive points to take out the loopholes from the budget. I fail to hear even a single point from opposition party which has some kind of valid points in terms of criticizing the budget. No point I have heard so far. I have heard some of the reactions from opposition party in last 2-3 hours. No points at all. But Rahul Gandhi was saying that announcement करने से क्या होता है? अरे भाई budget is for announcement only. This announcement has to be executed. Now this is statement, policy, announcement, and if you don't announce in budget, should the budget be run secretly? So that means Rahul Gandhi, the leader of opposition, was not even paying attention to the budget. He was sitting and doing his usuals with his phones and all. He doesn't understand, he doesn't listen. But it's okay. If the country listens, that's good enough. So it's not only the middle class, I am repeating it. Otherwise, we may just end up saying that, oh, government has given a massive tax relief to the middle class. We must see beyond middle class. For the poor, for the aspirational youth, for job creation, and especially for the whole of the economy, how this budget will transform. You have seen so many cylinders are there to be fired up, and economy can be fired up. So the important steps taken, for example, some of the things which has touched my heart is like special steps on tourism, especially on Buddha's name. Special emphasis will be given on spiritual tourism. Now, tourism is one of the biggest employment generating industry. So these kind of steps being taken are very well welcome. And also the makhana board. Now makhana is my favorite food item, which is grown largely in Bihar. Yes. So this kind of decision, imagine, it's not only a matter of great news for people of Bihar, but we consume makhana more than people of Bihar. So I was really thrilled, actually, this kind of decisions are taken in this budget.
Now, my last question to you, Mr. Rijiju, away from the budget, you also have the budget session. This is the beginning of the budget session of the Parliament. So this is my last question to you, apropos the entire session, and then I'll let you go. I know you are a busy man, but the rest of the budget session has some very contentious bills put in the list of the business, at least as of now, which is like the Waqf Amendment Bill, which you also have to pilot since you are also the Minority Affairs Minister. Do you think the Parliament can, today also, by the way, some opposition MPs walked out and there was din before the FM started to speak. So do you think, are you hopeful as the Parliamentary Affairs Minister and the Minority Affairs Minister that you would be able to conduct the business with some amount of normalcy and get these bills, some of them contentious ones, passed?
Well, the term contentious is being coined by the opposition party. For us, it is not contentious, but it is a necessary bill and which must be brought in and must be passed. Now, when it comes to passing and consideration in the House, I really want thorough debates and discussions in the House. You know very well, in democracy, numbers do matter. That's why we are in the government. Now, NDA has the requisite number to pass all the bills. However, I don't want to rush the bill and then skip discussions, because you really need to have a thorough debates, discussions, and also to listen to the opposition, what they want to suggest. Now, Waqf Amendment Bill has been already, submitted to the Speaker by the JPC. For the 6 months period, the JPC has, in detail, threadbare discussion took place and it has come back. Now, once it is tabled in the Parliament, it will be referred back to the government and we will come out with the amended version of the bill. So, it will go back to the cabinet. What I want to tell is, if the opposition party tries to block any legislation by creating ruckus or doing some kind of unparliamentary tactics in the House, then government will be forced to push through it. When we want to have a discussion, if the opposition thinks that by blocking physically, by creating ruckus in the House, they can block the bill, it is not going to happen. We are in the government. We are duty bound to pass the legislation. People of India have put their faith on Modi ji's government for the 3rd time. Just because of the disturbances created by the opposition party, we can't stall the important bills in the Parliament. So the business of the Parliament has to go through as per the norms, as per the rules. Parliamentary procedures and rules are already there. We will not bypass any rules, but we will ensure that government does its role, government functions as per the rules, but we will try to take on board the opposition parties. In the business advisory committees, we allocate the timing of the discussions and the other subjects to be taken up for discussion. In the all-party meeting, the opposition parties have put many suggestions. We will listen to them, and then, of course, we believe in consensus, and there should be no misgivings when opposition amendments are not considered, because it is duty of the government to listen to opposition, but the opposition party cannot force their will on the government. That is very important. In a parliamentary democracy, the government does command the majority, and that majority doesn't mean that we bulldoze everything, but we will listen to them and we will try for consensus. That is my approach, and Prime Minister has always told me that try to get on board all the opposition parties and listen to them, and that is what I am doing all the time.
Mr. Rijiju, on a busy day like budget, you joined us on the first day of the budget session. Thank you very much. Grateful as always. I hope that you have a consensus discussion and peaceful budget session this time.
My pleasure. Thank you, Nikunj.
Thank you.